Ali, President of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Our dear Prime Minister, Vice President, members of Cabinet, members of the diplomatic community, leaders of industry, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, members of the media, fellow Guyanese, with the renewed and expanded mandate of the people bestowed upon me and the People's Progressive Party Civic in the recently concluded elections of September 1st, 2025, I come before you today with a solemn promise to share our vision, our plans that will guide our nation over the next 5 years, building on the historic achievements of the past 5 years. By sharing these plans openly and widely with all of Guyana, I seek to ensure that every citizen understands the path we will take, the priorities we uphold, and the progress we seek to achieve. Ours is a responsibility that fills this moment with promise. For as we stand at the threshold of the next 5 years, the horizon of our future stretches wide and bright, calling upon us to act with courage and clarity. We do so armed with the unshakable belief that the true measure of our progress, the proof of our purpose, is found in the prosperity, the dignity, and the well-being of every Guyanese. For us, the people come first, always. It is a guiding principle, putting people at the center of every decision that shapes the economic blueprint. I'm about to unveil every policy, every initiative, every program, every project flows from the simple yet profound question: how does this improve your lives, the citizens of Guyana? At every step, we ask, does this policy make life better? Does this program expand dignity and choice? Does this project impact positively on the community in which it is located? From these simple but profound questions, rooted in fairness, dignity, and inclusion, our vision rises. That vision is bold and is grounded in service. It is a vision of a Guyana that works for its people. A Guyana where opportunity is the birthright of every citizen. A Guyana where our vast resources are the lifeblood of dignity, of hope, and of shared prosperity. A Guyana where Guyanese can work, live, and retire in communities that are safe, clean, and have adequate and comfortable amenities, where children can run free. In this era, when more Guyanese are working, earning, saving, and experiencing a better quality of life, their perfectly understandable expectation is that they should be able to enjoy a certain level of comfort in the communities in which they live. We recognize that a modern community in Guyana should have, at a minimum, paved roads, concrete drains, clean carpets, well-lit streets, greenery and recreational spaces, no garbage, no stray animals, and no noise nuisances. These are minimum and eminently reasonable expectations, and my government will meet these expectations. I call on all Guyanese to join us in the People's Progressive Party civic government in making this a reality. As I said before, in this moment, Guyana is a rising frontier, a nation where oil fuels ambition but does not define us, where gold, bauxite, and other mining also anchor economy, and where fertile lands and fresh water feed our people and nourish the wider region, where world-class services abound, and where creativity flourishes. We see, but vision without action is only words. That is why we are moving with urgency and resolve, turning plans into projects, promises into performance, and hope into reality, delivering tangible results to the Guyanese people now for the next 5 years and beyond. And performance in this government will be measurable. If you are in a position to deliver, you will have to perform because you will be measured against your performance. We will continue to diversify our economy, modernize our infrastructure, expand business opportunity, create jobs, educate and train people, raise incomes, cut cost of living, fight poverty, restore faith in public service, and defend our sovereignty. Together, we will build a Guyana that rises, not for a few, but for all. A Guyana that stands tall in the region and the world. A Guyana where the future is not feared, but firmly and proudly claimed. A Guyana which ensures that every Guyanese carries a positive premium the world over, and where all Guyanese prefer to live, work, earn, and retire here, all in dignity, comfort, and pride. My fellow Guyanese, throughout our first term in office since 2020, my government has been on a mission to empower every citizen, not just financially, but also economically, by giving them the tools necessary for them to take control of their financial future, and creating the conditions necessary for them to build household and personal wealth through their own efforts. True empowerment begins with knowledge, and as the old saying goes, knowledge is literally power. That is why we launched a nationwide financial literacy initiative. We believe that when our people understand how to save, invest, and access credit, they can unlock doors to prosperity that were once closed. Imagine a Guyana where family knows how to make their money work for them, how savings grow, assets are leveraged, investments multiply, and dreams become reality. Not so long ago, in the old economy, there were only so many paths for one to achieve this. But today, because of the rapid transformation of our economy and the innovations in the financial sector, plus the diversification that is currently underway, there are now endless opportunities, ranging from entirely new lines of work to opening your own business. This vision forms part of our national financial literacy and financial inclusion strategy, a strategy designed to make financial empowerment a reality for all by deepening understanding of basic financial and investment concepts and banking and financial services, a strategy ultimately geared at ensuring financial security and prosperity for all of the working people of this country. And we are not walking this path alone. We are forging partnerships with the private sector. And most importantly, citizens who are willing and ready to equip themselves with the financial knowledge to seize the opportunities knocking at their doors. We firmly believe that everyone should have equal access to participate fully in our economy, beginning with the fundamental ability to open a bank account That is why we drastically simplified the requirement for opening bank accounts. And these simplified procedures are already in operation. Today, more Guyanese than ever before are part of the formal banking system. In fact, the number of bank accounts has grown by more than 65,000 since 2020, reaching over 648,000 accounts in. In addition, we can also now easily open accounts by online applications at 4 major commercial banks. This is progress in financial inclusion and empowerment that is measurable. Moving forward, to ensure that every Guyanese has access to the banking system and access to the opportunity that exists in Guyana today, every effort will be made to encourage them to open their own bank accounts. We did not get where we are today by chance. Since we returned to office in 2020, we have been placing more money into the pockets of every Guyanese. Through job creation, wage increases, higher pensions and public assistance, targeted cash transfers, and widespread tax reductions. You know, we've increased public sector wages. We have doubled the income tax threshold. We doubled old age pension. We more than doubled public assistance grants. We distributed more than $70 billion in direct transfers. We cut income tax rates, provided tax relief for persons with children, persons who earn overtime, persons who have a second job, and persons who are paying premium for life and medical insurance. We removed excise taxes from gasoline and diesel, amounting to savings of over $100 billion annually. As a result of the favorable investment and business climate we have created, credit to the private sector has grown by an accumulated 89.6%, 95.6% in real estate growth in real estate mortgages, 155.6% in credit to agriculture, 89.6% growth in credit to the manufacturing sector, 90.4% growth to credit to the services sector, 67.9% growth in credit to household. This is not only credit, it is jobs being created, businesses being created, and opportunities being fulfilled and pursued by Guyanese. This means that more Guyanese businesses and households are borrowing to take advantage of the bountiful opportunities that exist today. They are converting idle liquidity in the financial system into productive economic activities. We've also seen wealth grown through our housing program and by opening doors for existing and new businesses. These statistics tell a powerful story, a story of economic empowerment and inclusive development, where every Guyanese has a fair chance at success. It is important to note that more than 50% of the beneficiaries from the small business grants were women. There is no other jurisdiction that can point to a policy that directly impacted the lives, where 50% of the impact were women. And we are just getting started. Building on these gains realized during our first term, our agenda for the next 5 years is one of even more ambitious transformation. A keystone initiative will be the establishment of the Guyana Development Bank with an injection of $200 million, which will provide zero interest, zero collateral microcredit loans, specifically for small and medium-sized enterprises, women-owned businesses, young entrepreneurs, and persons living with disabilities, along with essential mentorship and training. We'll not only be giving you loans, but we will also be providing you with mentorship, training, and the support needed to turn ideas into thriving businesses. And we will be working closely with you to help ensure the success of your small businesses. The bank will focus heavily on investment in areas such as agriculture, creating opportunity for small farmers, tourism and hospitality, manufacturing, technology, services, and activities in the orange economy, so that Guyanese artists can turn their craft into income. We will also create opportunities for the build-out of a care economy, where services such as care for the elderly, differently abled persons, and children, which were the exclusive preserve of the public sector or stagnated in the informal sector, will be outsourced and become monetized. Work has already begun. Legal and administrative structures are being put in place. Soon a board of directors and a team of experts will start guiding the SMEs in preparing credible business plans and successful loan applications. We'll help you to convert your ideas into a bankable plan. Young people who have viable business ideas, like the small farmer in Region 6 or the beauty salon owner in Region 9, who could not afford to start up or expand their ventures, can now do so with the support of experts and access to much-needed resources. The SME Bank will not be an ordinary microfinance institution, but a lifeline for innovation and growth and continued empowerment for Guyanese. Importantly, it would also not be a substitute for the formal banking system, but instead will be a stepping stone to the formal banking system. It will help small business owners move up to the formal banking system after accessing this facility for the first time. And it will help some small business owners co-finance their operations with traditional financing from the formal banking system. Small business owners will have access up to 3 million Guyana dollars with no collateral at zero interest. In the past, thousands of young Guyanese would have been denied access to financing for lack of collateral or a business plan. You no longer have to worry about that. Further, through the co-financing mechanism, they will have access to an additional $7 million at preferential interest rates, unlocking financing of up to $10 million. The bank will unlock significant volumes of capital from the commercial banking system, which will be lent to SMEs at a subsidized interest rate they have already agreed on as low as 3.5%. This will be supported by government extending to the commercial banks similar fiscal concessions as are granted for the purpose of low-income housing up to that value, the $10 million. We will also establish agent banking networks to remote communities, making banking service available to all, no matter where you live. Modernize our payment system with digital banking and mobile wallets to expand access to financial services nationwide, and enact amendments in the legal and regulatory framework governing lending activities by banks and non-bank institutions where necessary to remove any remaining impediments to lending. Implement reforms to the Bank of Guyana to modernize its operation and make it more fit for purpose, particularly in relation to driving financial inclusion and financial innovation in this digital era, while preserving and protecting the stability of the entire financial system. At the same time, we'll further broaden wealth creation through investment in financial instruments in the capital market, by structuring investment vehicles through which citizens can access opportunities for guaranteed returns. This way, domestic investors and small domestic investors in particular will be able to access opportunities to invest in equity or fixed income instruments such as bonds. For example, we want the fertilizer plant to be owned by Guyanese here and in the diaspora, who will invest directly for a guaranteed fixed return. Similarly, my government will prioritize local participation in the glass manufacturing industry, inviting Guyanese investors and members of the diaspora to take part in the new industries and hubs that we are building right here at home. We'll establish a junior stock exchange so as to allow small and emerging companies to raise capital under less stringent regulatory requirements applicable to the main or senior stock exchange. This will also provide an investment vehicle for Guyanese with savings seeking to invest with minimal risk. Together, these initiatives are designed to create a powerful ecosystem where financial knowledge, unprecedented access to capital, and new avenues for investment converge. This holistic strategy will ensure that Guyana's prosperity is widely shared and deeply inclusive for every citizen. My Guyanese brothers and sisters, this is our vision regarding financial and economic empowerment. A vision which, when realized, will ensure that every citizen has the knowledge, access, and opportunity to prosper. A vision that encourages our citizens to dream of bigger possibilities and work towards realizing these. My fellow Guyanese, over the last 5 years, my government has steadily expanded access to essential services so that every Guyanese child can learn, so that every family can receive world-class health care, and so that every senior citizen can get the support that they need. We are building a Guyana where every citizen is equipped with the knowledge and skills needed to participate fully in the country's development in a meaningful and rewarding manner, and can live a long, healthy, and fulfilling life. Looking ahead to the next 5 years, the vision for our social services is one that is anchored in our belief that the prosperity of our country must be felt by every single Guyanese in the quality of social services they enjoy in every community across our 10 administrative regions. We will build on the progress we have already made by further expanding access to quality health care, education, housing, water, and essential services, and by achieving standards comparable with the rest of the world. In our first term of office, my government increased expenditure in the health sector from $35.8 billion in 2019 to $133 billion in 2024. This year, $143.2 billion was allocated to the sector. We expanded healthcare infrastructure with the commencement of 12 new hospitals, several of which are already operating. We employed over 3,000 new health professionals. We introduced telemedicine services for the first time in Guyana with over 80 sites. For a matter of fact, we are now the leader in telemedicine in this region. In health, we are not only building new state-of-the-art facilities, but we are also re-engineering the entire health system around the goal of providing world-class service to every Guyanese. As we recognize the challenge of timely availability of drugs and medical supplies across the public health sector, we are developing an electronic inventory management system to track the movement and availability of supplies across the entire system. This will help to ensure that adequate levels of drug and medical supplies are readily available in public health facilities countrywide, thereby minimizing bottlenecks, delays, and wastage. And with this system, we will be able to track professionals who are not doing their jobs and hold them accountable wherever there is wastage, bottlenecks, or delays in the provision of these services. We are rolling out a national health records platform, deploying an electronic appointment system, and deploying AI to strengthen health services all across the country. Access to health must not be on the basis of who you know, who you're related to, or where you come from. It must be system-based, and that is what we are doing. Deploying AI to strengthen health services all across the country that is system-based. This means that every Guyanese can go anywhere in the country and receive consistent quality care in a timely manner. Just 2 weeks ago, we launched a Digital Health Training Institute, a 3-year program designed to prepare technicians, data scientists, trainers, and digital support staff to operate Guyana digital health technology system. In collaboration with Mount Sinai Health System and Hess Corporation, we'll establish a modern oncology center in Guyana to enhance the cancer treatment and care that we offer here. We'll establish a center that will be able to treat people. In the first phase, we'll expand access to cancer screening, diagnostic, and treatment options. And in the second phase, we'll offer advanced tertiary oncology services. Our investment in the sector will also position Guyana to be a biotechnology research hub within the next 5 years. We'll construct a life sciences park that will provide for, among other things, biobank storage, facilities for diagnostics, drugs, and vaccine manufacturing capabilities for clinical trials, the establishment of a tropical medicine institute, data warehouse development with analytics and AI for life sciences. In the next 5 years, whether you live on the coast or in the hinterland, you will be able to visit a health facility and receive first-class care, including timely access to the drugs and medical supplies you need, supported by cutting-edge technology delivered by Guyanese health professionals who are trained right here at home. In education, we're going to continue the investment that we have made over the last 5 years. We restored and increased the Because We Care cash grant, which is $50,000 per child. And together with the uniform allowance, place a total of nearly $40 billion in the hands of parents over our first term in office. We made education free at all levels, including at the University of Guyana. We launched the UG Student Loan Write-Off Program with thousands of students already benefiting. We launched the Guyana Online Academy of Learning with more than 39,000 scholarships awarded in the last 5 years. We trained over 5,000 teachers. We commenced the construction of over 100 new schools, and we started paying for up to 8 subjects, CSEC and CAPE, for all Guyanese students at public and private schools. We have already delivered on one major commitment in our manifesto for 2025 manifesto. Less than 2 weeks ago, we launched the Guyana Digital School, a landmark initiative that brings personalized AI-driven learning for every child, no matter where they live. This is yet another transformational project by the PPPC government, a demonstration of our vision to modernize our education system and ensure that every Guyanese child has the tools to succeed in the world. Not only is the digital school a milestone for Guyana, it is also important for regional integration. It allows for the first time CARICOM students across different countries to learn from each other's culture. Looking ahead, we'll maintain free education at all levels. We'll continue the GOLD program with unlimited number of scholarships available to all eligible Guyanese. We'll continue to modernize school infrastructure and technical and vocational training. We'll allocate more resources to encourage STEM subjects, and we'll ensure that every single region has a special education needs facility. It is important to note that in just about 10 years of oil production, we have one of the finest training institute for oil and gas in Port Moran, Berbice, in all of the world today. An investment by the government of Guyana. We have a state-of-the-art hospitality institute that will be completed in Region 6 also, that will meet our needs. Important to the future is building sustainable communities. Communities that can withstand the changing weather patterns. Communities that are clean. In Georgetown, we have the revitalization plan. But I want to make it clear that our plan of stronger, safer, more beautiful communities is not only for Georgetown. It will be stretched all across Guyana in every single region. Sustainable communities are built on a shared commitment to use spaces in which we live. This is a commitment that requires responsibility, consistent action, and civic duty. It is incumbent that we build social capital to nurture our living environment and develop a culture of care. In the next 5 years, we'll continue to build the infrastructure for sustainable communities that are safe and clean, where the streets are well lit, where drains are not clogged or polluted, and where noise nuisances are no more. Guyanese will be able to enjoy the basic rights of affordable housing, clean water, proper drainage, and a clean and healthy environment. Home ownership, which was a distant dream for generations, has now become a reality for tens of thousands under my government. Tonight, I feel confident that many of you who receive your house lots and build your houses are listening to me from the comfort of your living rooms. And those who are yet to build your houses, you too will come to enjoy the warmth, comfort, and security of home ownership. Congratulations. This is true for all 53,000 of you who received a government house lot since August 2020. We have made home ownership more affordable through the removal of VAT on locally produced building and construction material, increasing the low-income mortgage ceiling at commercial banks from 8 million to 20 million, and introducing the steel and cement subsidy program to assist with the cost of home construction. The vision for the next 5 years and beyond is to accelerate economic empowerment through home ownership by clearing the backlog of house lot application in all regions, with the possible exception of Region 4 because of the demand, the nature of the demand. Given the peculiar circumstances of Region 4, we'll also focus heavily on the construction of new homes, with the aim of building 8,000 homes per year for a total of 40,000 new homes over the next 5 years. Just calculate 5 persons working on a home and multiply that by 40,000, and you will understand the scale of what we are trying to accomplish. Understand what 8,000 homes every year. We're not talking about those who already have their house lots and who will be improving their homes. And by the way, all of which will be incentivizing. We are talking about the 40,000 that we are going to build. And it's important for us to understand why this is needed. Many persons who want to own their own homes are now telling the ministry, we don't want a land. We want you to help us build. Because of the difficulty in managing contractors, because of the time it takes from them to go and build their home, to buy material, the stress, they will be saving all of that. And it is because of this high demand from people directly for the government to support the building of the homes that we need to build these 40,000 homes. We'll expand beyond house lot allocation to issue titles, build communities, and ensure access to basic services. We'll also advance the Silica City project to create a model smart city that can be replicated anywhere else in the country or beyond. Our vision is to deliver a system that Guyanese can trust. Clean, safe, reliable water flowing into every home, whether you live on the coast or in the hinterland community. Already, between 2020 and 2025, we've invested in critical infrastructure in water and sanitation. We reduced water tariffs. We removed VAT on water consumption and reinstated water subsidies for pensioners. These are things we have already forgotten. We have forgotten all of this. But these are things that we have delivered. How often do we recall these successes that we have already achieved? Put your hands together for those successes. Through deliberate policies and hard work over the last 5 years, the PPPC government has already moved access to potable water nationally to 98.4%. And our aim is to move access to treated water along the coast to 100% by the end of the next 5 years. Over the next 5 years, we'll be improving solid waste management and sanitation countrywide, upgrading our landfill sites, deploying more critical waste management equipment, upgrading wastewater treatment, and launching an aggressive waste recycling program. My government is pushing forward with Guyana's National Solid Waste Management and Beautification Initiative, which includes plans for new and expanded landfill sites, and the development of green and recreational spaces. My government remains committed to ensuring cleaner communities, sustainable waste management solutions, and of course, the beautification of our country. Earlier you saw images that one may think are artistic impressions. No, this is the actual blueprint of what Georgetown and other urban and suburban areas would look like across our country. We are taking deliberate steps towards the beautification of our environment. Deliberate steps in creating safe family environment. Deliberate steps in creating and improving recreational facilities. Deliberate steps in enhancing community life. And importantly, we are taking deliberate steps in building out the drainage plan for every single region. For a matter of fact, after the consultation, we have a detailed mapping of all of the drainage facility, a full-scale assessment, and an implementation plan for Georgetown and for every single region, including a digital mapping of all the pump stations, where they are and where the new ones will be located. Because drainage is an important aspect of development, especially for a country that is below sea level. Fellow Guyanese, my government feels strongly that the transformation of Guyana into a modern country that is currently underway must be reflected in the quality of daily experience of citizens, in their interactions with institutions of state, in the ease of their access to public services, and in their execution of transactions with each other and with the private sector. In this regard, we have long recognized the power of technology, not merely as a tool, but as a force to revolutionize our nation, a force to open doors to opportunities, to improve efficiency, and not least, to unleash our vast economic potential. The deployment of technology would also enhance transparency and accountability. In every system we develop, there will be a post-audit mechanism to determine wherever there are flaws, wherever their system lapses, and action will be taken. It is with this recognition in mind that one of the earliest steps taken by my government in 2020 was to bring into operation a new Telecommunications Act, which facilitated the introduction of competition in the sector and a massive reduction in the cost of bandwidth. How easily did we forget that? That when we liberalized that sector, the cost of bandwidth came down. Investment and expansion of services became a reality. That is what competition and forward thinking brings to the population. Today, we stand at the threshold of a new era, a digital era. And our government is ready to lead Guyana into it. We are entering a new digital era, rooted in innovation, equity, and efficiency. Digital Guyana is our commitment to building a modern state where technology makes public service faster and more accessible, efficient, transparent, and responsive, supports economic development and innovation, and empowers all Guyanese, supported by three pillars: citizen-centric governance, artificial intelligence and emerging technologies, and digital infrastructure. This transformation will make Guyana a digital leader in the region and a better place to live, work, and raise a family. We're introducing a citizen-centric portal, a gateway to modern government services that enables citizens to access all government services online. And I must say to you, we have launched some components of that service. And already many countries in the regions are reaching out to us to share this knowledge and help them deliver similar products to their citizens. A modern Guyana will enable citizens to access all government services online. With just a click of a button, citizens will be able to apply for birth certificates, ID cards, passports, driver's license, business registration, and other business permits and licenses, file tax returns and pay their taxes, access payments from government, old age pension, NIS pension, public assistance, apply for house lots, and pay utility bills. This portal will also enable a national e-wallet, allowing citizens to receive money and make payments in the most seamless way possible. This is the future we are building. To support this, we'll also establish physical one-stop citizen service center in every region. These initiatives are augmented by a number of single-window platforms, which will improve the ease of doing business. And we are aware that as we change these systems, and with the level of accountability that these systems bring, and also the level of tracking, that there are some who will resist the change. There are some who will want to avoid the change. There are some who will try to subvert the change. But we are putting them on notice that the system will identify them, and the system will allow us to know where they exist, and what they are doing. We will not allow a system to fail because people do not want to apply the system. We're investing too much. And as I said, these investments are all about people. Someone must be able to either do it online by themselves or walk into one service center and conduct all of their government business with limited interaction with public servants because of predictability, transparency, efficiency, and an environment in which system works. The systems would also expedite construction permits and a trade transactions single window to coordinate the processing of import and export documentation. And you know, there are some who like to claim, oh, we thought of that. Well, I want to advise you to go back to the original LCDS and some of our other development plans, and you will see how forward-looking the People's Progressive Party Civic was since then. We are able to implement at a faster pace now because of the revenue stream, and we are telling the population how that revenue stream will create new forms of wealth, new jobs, new opportunity, and a strong, sustainable, resilient economy. And that is what must be important to every Guyanese, knowing that you will live and pass on a country that is resilient, sustainable, strong, and will be able to allow you and those after you to live a life of dignity and prosperity. We have already launched a Skills Connect app for skilled and semi-skilled workers to match job seekers and recruiters, with more than 1,500 already registered to use the application. Nearly 100 job opportunities posted, and nearly 200 services advertised in just weeks. And we are currently testing the government appointment system, Gov Connect. In addition, before the end of the year, we will launch Citizens Connect, which is a new portal that allows citizens to bring matters of interest to the attention of the relevant authorities. And why is this important? These systems will allow us not only to bring the issue, but to track who is looking at the issue, to track the time it is taking to resolve issues, to track the performance of government agencies, and to track how efficiently persons who are tasked with delivering services are delivering those services. That is what is going to enhance accountability and transparency. That is what is going to build the new efficient Guyana. In 2026, these applications will all be hosted on a single e-government platform to make all government services easily accessible to our citizens. In addition, we'll be utilizing technology to monitor the efficiency with which government is performing, using dashboards to track activity across all sectors. A post-audit mechanism will be implemented to ensure there is institutional integrity and accountability, and that our systems are working as they should for the people of this country. Already, we have conducted post-audit in a few agencies, and you will see action stemming from those post-audits. This is the era of action and delivery. At the same time, with the objectives of further improving transparency and efficiency, and further enhancing participation and competitiveness, we will be moving to e-procurement, along with supporting reforms to the procurement system. Additionally, we will be strengthening real-time monitoring and introducing independent post-evaluation of projects to ensure quality and delivery to standard. Over the next 5 years, our government will also establish a modern, more efficient Bank of Guyana that is proactive, data-driven, and fit for the digital age. Its foremost mission will be to safeguard stable prices and a resilient exchange rate, ensuring a sustainable cost of living for all Guyanese. We'll strengthen monetary policy tools, deploying the policy interest rate and open market operations with precision to manage liquidity and inflation expectations, while enhancing forward guidance and expanding statistical capacity to anchor private sector confidence, innovation, and investment. To make financial transactions faster, safer, and more inclusive, we'll modernize the payment system and transform money and capital markets by upgrading the securities framework, thereby creating new opportunities for the private sector. The central bank will not be passive. It will act with urgency, intelligence, and credibility to secure Guyana's economic future. As indicated in Manifesto 2025, we will provide you with AskGov, Guyana official AI digital government service. Powered by AI, the ecosystem will eliminate long lines, provide timely answers, and allow citizens to request government services anytime and anywhere. As I highlighted earlier, in education, students and teachers will benefit from AI personalized learning and interactive curriculum access, even in the most remote areas, via the Guyana Digital School. While in healthcare, AI will enhance our health system, track diseases, and prioritize critical cases faster. We're also building Guyana's first sovereign AI cloud, which will keep Guyana's data within our borders. In this regard, plans have already been initiated to establish state-of-the-art data centers and support supportive digital infrastructure, all as part of Digital Guyana. Part of our digital infrastructure includes the expansion of the national broadband landscape to facilitate access to the internet and expansion of the Wi-Fi Guyana program. To drive digital industry and innovation, we'll create tech parks and innovation hubs across Guyana where AI, fintech, software development, and cloud services can thrive. The benefits of these flagship initiatives will be tremendous. The digital leap will forge a smarter, more agile bureaucracy, free from delays and frustration. It will also unlock massive economic value. Guyana will become a regional hotspot for innovation and model for the rest of the world. Our objective is not just to enter the digital era, but to be part of shaping it. We will launch a national digital literacy program, introduce coding in every secondary school, offer free digital certification, and organize boot camps to encourage innovation and creativity. This is important to ensure our citizens benefit from these activities. Our digital transformation strategy is a gateway not only to government efficiency, but also to ensure greater transparency and fairness as direct benefits of the deployment of digital solutions to processes that previously required significant human input. Security and justice is also an important platform. For us, security and justice must not be for the wealthy or for those who can pay for it or those who think they can determine it by what they possess. Security and justice must be equitable every day of the week. It must be predictable every day of the week. It must be accessible every day of the week. And it must comprise of one standard for every citizen. That is the hallmark of a judicial system and a security system that work for every citizen equally. Fellow Guyanese, we have strengthened our defense force on land, sea, and air, with landmark purchases such as the offshore patrol vessel and new helicopters, modernize our police force to fight crime with technology and trust. This includes the Safe City and Safe Country initiative, with hundreds of locations now protected. We reformed our prison service to correct and rehabilitate as against only punishing. We expanded our fire service to save lives faster. We empowered our intelligence community to see threats before they strike, and sharpened our fight against narcotics to protect our children and communities. Today, we have one of the most expansive partnerships with this region and the rest of the world in the fight against narcotics and illicit drug trafficking and other forms of smuggling, including gold smuggling. We have joined and are part of a regional alliance that is working aggressively on this front. Going forward, Guyana's security strategy is built on a simple but unbreakable principle: protecting Guyanese lives, Guyanese livelihoods, Guyanese sovereignty, while securing the progress we have worked so hard to achieve. We begin with people. Safety in our communities is the foundation of national security. We will continue to build confidence and trust in our security forces, not only by ensuring we have adequately trained personnel across the system, but by putting mechanisms in place to ensure the integrity and accountability of these personnel. Our aim is a policing system that reflects a high degree of professionalism and a citizen-friendly and community-oriented system. We are building a modern, technology-enabled policing system that prevents crime before it happens and responds faster when it does, with e-ticketing, digital case management, and the cybercrime unit, all driving enforcement, while community policing help to build public trust. We will be investing heavily in building public trust through community policing. Migration will continue to be addressed with clarity and discipline. As promised in Manifesto 2025, we will develop a migration policy. Guyana remains open to skills, investment, and contribution, but we will never surrender control of our borders or subordinate the rights and interests of the Guyanese people. In all we do, the Guyanese people come first. Guyana and the Guyanese people come first. And we will be taking steps in local content, community economy, community services, to ensure that in all of this development, Guyanese businesses, Guyanese talent, and community ownership is not displaced. We welcome investment, but we ask you to work with our local businesses, private sector, and talent. There is no sidestepping this. There is no sidetracking this. They come first in this development strategy. Everyone in Guyana must be documented. I want to repeat that. Everyone in Guyana must be documented, accounted for, and here for a clear purpose and period. You must be documented, accounted for, and in this country for a clear purpose and a defined period. This will be achieved through modern digital systems like the EID card, through enforcement on abuse, and full transparency to the public. We will prove that Guyana can be both fair and strong. For a matter of fact, we have already implemented segments of the digitization, and transactions that took weeks are now taking seconds. Transactions that took weeks are now taking seconds. Guyana can be both fair and strong, open to contribution, close to disorder, and united in one unshakable truth. This land belongs to the Guyanese people, today and for generations to come. In a world where threats move at the speed of data, intelligence, cybersecurity, and digital resilience are now frontline defenses. We are investing in systems that detect risk early, protect national data, defend critical infrastructure, and connect agencies so that threats are identified before they reach our homes, our schools, our economy. Intelligence is the unseen shield that allows a nation to sleep peacefully at night. At the same time, we are strengthening the defense of our land, seas, and skies. Territorial integrity is not a slogan. It is an obligation for every citizen. Justice is at the center of all democratic governance. Justice that is predictable, fair, accessible, and equitable to every citizen. I'm proud to say that my administration is firmly grounded in the belief that justice should be more than a set of principles or a set of abstract ideas. This administration holds an unflinching commitment to the rule of law, to the sanctity of our legal institutions, and most of all, to you, the people of this land. Justice must work for the people of this land. Over the past 5 years, the focus has been on rolling out access to justice with the construction of many court buildings throughout the country. This work will continue to ensure easy access to justice in major populated areas. We are fully committed to timely delivery of justice in a fair, transparent, and efficient manner. Towards the realization of this objective, the judiciary is in the process of implementing a strategic plan 2024 to 2031, pursuing service excellence through investments in human resource management systems and technology. My government supports the effort for Guyana to become a member of the International Framework for Court Excellence, which sets international standards of excellence for the performance of courts regarding leadership, strategic management, workforce, infrastructure, and processes, user engagement, accessibility, and public trust. In this regard, the 2025 IFC self-assessment demonstrates that the judiciary of Guyana is stable and aligned with the principles of good governance. The next phase of transformation requires converting this sound foundation into a system of consistent excellence, one where performance is visible, improvement is continuous, and public trust is deepened. My government also welcomes the judiciary effort to ensure accountability by pursuing evidence-based data management across all levels of the court system. Case disposal and clearance rate standards will be introduced. The use of technology for all court operations, case management, human resources, maintenance of stores and the payment of maintenance, bail and fines electronically will be the main areas of focus over the next 5 years. Legislative changes will be made to make judges, magistrates, as well as legal practitioners more accountable. These will include robust disciplinary processes to ensure timely delivery of decisions in compliance with existing legislation, as well as the maintenance of high ethical and professional standards. Our citizens deserves no less. The case management system for the Magistrates Court is ongoing. The system is being developed in a collaboration with the National Center for State Courts of the United States Department of Justice. It is hoped that the system will be operational by mid-2026. The High Court does not have a backlog of civil cases any longer. And the paperless system is in place. It allows for greater efficiency in the assignment of cases, eliminate dependence on the movement of case files, and permit access to files for cases 24 hours a day. To ensure a full complement of judges and magistrates, we look forward to the Judicial Service Commission filling key vacancies in the High Court and Magistrates Court, and increasing the complement of commissioners of title. In support of the rendering of timely decision, it is anticipated that the JSC will appoint more judicial research assistants who will be integral in assisting judges to more robustly manage cases from the time a case is filed to disposition. This will all strengthen the capacity of the courts to deal with cases more efficiently. Within 1 month, we'll be launching the revised edition of the Laws of Guyana, updated from 2012 to December 31st, 2021. And at the same time, we'll also be launching the Law Reports of Guyana from 2008 to 2021, all part of our modernization of the legal sector. These initiatives will make our laws easier accessible and more user-friendly to all our citizens. The law reports will ensure our judges and members of the legal profession have available and accessible important decided cases to guide them in ensuring an improved quality of justice. Precedents are there for a reason. I want to repeat that. Precedents are there for a reason. Matters are concluded at the highest level of a court, and those decisions are recorded for a reason, so that justice is not delayed, so that important decisions are not delayed. Infrastructure, unlocking economic potential. Transport infrastructure can be linked to the veins and arteries through which all of the nation's activities flow. By the way, those ambulances made me remember that we'll be launching the authority, the ambulance authority, very soon. And we will have the private sector involved in this, investing in it, and government investing in it, so that you will have the internationally acceptable time between patient, ambulance, and hospital realized within this next 5 years. So I thank the drivers for reminding me of that. My government's vision for the transport infrastructure sector has two main objectives: unlocking economic opportunity and improving citizens' quality of life. We are building out a core network that connects Guyana with our neighbors, particularly Brazil and Suriname, connects population centers within Guyana, opens up land for productive purposes, and lowers business and individual transportation costs. We have moved from implementing isolated projects to a national blueprint for rapid economic expansion and infrastructure transformation, executed at a speed that is unprecedented for Guyana or anywhere else in this region. The current era has seen implementation of several essential projects which were long awaited and overdue, largely as a result of economic and fiscal circumstances of the country. In 2020, we launched and rolled out the build-out of new critical infrastructure. We commenced the construction of the Bar-Jagdeo-Demra River Bridge, which was recently completed, the Wisma Bridge, the Linden to Mabura Hill Road, and the bridges to Letem. We constructed and commissioned new highways and arteries to ease congestion, including the Heroes Highway, Schooner to Crane Highway, Ogle to Eccles Highway, Aubrey Barker Road, Cemetery Road, and Conversation Tree Road. We also upgraded thousands of roads in urban and coastal communities and rehabilitated key hinterland roads, including Kumuka to Quibana, Wauna to Settlement, Karasabai to Paramakatoy, and internal roads within central Bartica, Madja, Campbelltown, Princeville, and Letem. we have been working in every area of this country to connect our economy, connect people, open up new lands, and build opportunities. From the coast to the hinterland, from our rivers to our runways, we are reshaping how our people move, trade, and connect. Our strategic investment in the transport infrastructure will enhance regional integration, foster economic growth, and create a seamless transportation network across the country, ensuring that no region is left behind. You can see on the screen in front of you the road network that we are building out all across every single region. The result has been a dramatic improvement in commuting time, especially in densely populated areas, such as East and West Demerara. Our roads will carry the future of Guyana. We're investing heavily in modern highways and strategic corridors that link our people to opportunity and markets to growth. Some of these new projects include the Schooner to Purika 4-lane highway, the Purika to Goshen Road link, the paving of the Maburo Hill to Kurupukari to Lethem Road, enhancing access to key economic zones, and facilitating the efficient movement of goods and people. Importantly, is the modernizing and rebuilding of the entire infrastructure landscape of Georgetown, the entire infrastructure link of key populated areas like the East Coast and East Bank. To ensure that hinterland communities are better connected, several key road links are in the pipeline. New road links will directly connect Region 8 to Region 9. Additionally, we'll also be constructing a critical road link from Merson Creek to Oriala and Siparuta and upgrading connectivity to Kwakwani. These are projects that will take some government 5 decades that we are working on in 5 years. Our rivers, once barriers, will become pathways to prosperity. We'll connect major crossings over the Berbice River and another spanning the Quarantine River, which will facilitate better trade with Suriname. A bridge over the Essequibo River at Kurupukari will unlock the interior and accelerate growth. To further ease transport flows, a pontoon crossing across the Demerara River, linking Timeri to Sand Hills, will be established, enhancing the movement of people and goods not only along the river, but along the Sand Hills Road leading on to Region 7 Bartica and then connecting all over the interior. Our waterfronts will see a transformation with marine development projects in Charity, Purika, Vinahoop, Stabroek, the entire Georgetown waterfront, and Wismar. Alongside the rehabilitation of all landing facilities along the Demerara and Berbice River. In Purika, we are advancing work on the first phase of the International Purika Port, which is a $4 billion facility that will facilitate, among other things, cargo ships transporting produce to the Caribbean, international travel for cruise ships, as well as individual luxury travel. We are also pushing ahead with the Berbice Deepwater Development, positioning Guyana as a competitive Atlantic transshipment and export hub, which is critical for boosting trade and promoting industrial development. This project will see a deepwater port constructed at the mouth of the Berbice River and integrated with a road to Brazil, laying the foundation for the industrial development that will take place with the landing of Guyana's second gas pipeline, also in Berbice. This development is crucial for containers, dry bulk, liquid bulk, and other general cargo. Meanwhile, upgrades of aerodromes, including the Lethem and Rose Hall aerodromes and hinterland airstrips, will ensure that air travel remains a viable option for accessing remote communities and creating an important hub for economic activity. At the same time, recognizing the massive growth in international air travel to Guyana and our country's potential to become a major regional hub for international air travel, work has already begun on a new terminal at the Cherry Jagan International Airport, catering for new flights and an anticipated massive increase in visitors. And make no mistake, we are going to make substantial investment in tourism to position Guyana as a leading tourism destination in this region and internationally. We are also evaluating options of bringing rail back into the national conversation on our transport infrastructure matrix. Modern, strategic, and future focus. In this regard, we are evaluating possible options for a mass transit system, especially to ease congestion in Georgetown, as well as to move cargo from Lethem to Guyana's Atlantic coast. This comprehensive, forward-looking transport strategy aims to ensure that Guyana's transport network is resilient, efficient, and capable of supporting our economic and social development goals, bringing the benefits of progress to every region and community by 2030. Our government has long recognized that adequate, reliable, and affordable energy is essential for industrial competitiveness. Consequently, immediately upon assuming office, we launched an aggressive agenda to increase the capacity of the electricity sector and diversify the energy mix. It's important to understand, too, on infrastructure, that we are not only talking about a major transformative infrastructure. We're talking about the building out of community drains, making them concrete drains in the community, the building out of road networks within community, the creation of spaces where we can have commercial activity, where we can have mechanic shops, spray painting shops outside of the neighborhood that will improve the quality of life in the neighborhood and give and not remove the opportunities that exist within the communities themselves. So in all of these urban and suburban communities, we have started to identify important plots of land that will be developed for the commercialization type of activities, like manufacturing activities within villages and communities. Investment in community markets is also a major plank of enhancing quality of life within communities. Back to energy. To meet the immediate needs, we brought into service 186.2 megawatt of new generating capacity. Notwithstanding this investment, demand continues to grow rapidly, reflecting underlying growth in the economy and outstripping the capacity of the current system. We launched a transformative gas-to-energy project, which is poised to add 300 megawatt of generation capacity to the grid and reduce electricity costs by 50%, thereby positioning Guyana as a major industrial hub in the region. When completed, the first phase of the project will see the operationalization of a combined cycle power plant and a natural gas liquid facility. We've also launched a request for proposal to resuscitate Amilas Falls Hydro Project, which when realized will add another 165 megawatt of power to the grid. At the same time, we are adding 100 megawatt of solar power to the grid. Meanwhile, we are rebuilding the entire transmission and distribution network to offtake the additional power, improve reliability and efficiency, reduce losses, and deploy a full-fledged smart grid. In off-grid hinterland and riverine communities, we have constructed mini hydropower plants and solar PV farms and distributed over 36,000 solar-powered home energy systems. It is expected that by 2030, 27% of Guyana's electricity demand will be satisfied using renewable sources and 47% from natural gas. With these and other investments, Guyanese businesses and households will be able to access reliable and stable power, and at half the current price. The implications for the cost of doing business and household consumption cannot be overstated. Important to our development is culture and creativity. Recognizing the vast creativity and ingenuity of our beautifully diverse population, my government is committed to building out Guyana's orange economy as a deliberate pillar of economic diversification. We will position Guyana as a leader in the Caribbean in the creative and cultural industries, backed by a comprehensive strategic plan that will detail investments to accelerate these industries and demonstrate how the orange economy is going to be integrated into the wider economy. There has been no better time to be a member of the creative sector in Guyana. The past 5 years saw the highest direct investment in the creative industry sector across several initiatives. The Creative and Cultural Industries Grant and the Guyana Prize for Literature Festival, the Origins Fashion Festival, the full support for the participation of our creative artists at events around the world, most recently at CariFest in Barbados in August, are just a number of the initiatives that demonstrates our government's commitment to support the creative sector. Guyanese creative artists continue to shine on the global stage. The mainstreaming of cultural and creative industries into our national development strategy is an idea whose time has come. Over the next 5 years, as we work to integrate culture and creativity into the wider economy, our continued investment in these industries will see Guyanese artists reaching their true potential, creating jobs and generating income. My government will build and establish a new national museum, a national art gallery to showcase our best and brightest visual artists, including digital infrastructure to both market their output at home and abroad. We'll also develop a digital gallery to catalog and showcase Guyana visual artwork over the years, along with a digital marketplace for Guyanese artwork. We are committed to investing in fashion, film, music, and literature, focusing on incentives, talent development, and commercial infrastructure, like our planned Grand Cultural Market at Palmyra, as well as the restoration work already underway at locations such as the Lamahar Railway Embankment in Georgetown and elsewhere in the city in collaboration with the King's Foundation. Not only is the aim to deliver on every single one of these promises, but to go beyond them to the deliberate development of a self-sustaining, globally competitive, cultural and creative industrial sector. Next month, a National Creative Industry Development Conference will take place. This initiative will be the first step in our nation leaping forward in the development of our national orange economy. Our government's mission is to bring a clear and coherent policy framework, institutionalized support, infrastructural development, innovation, integration, and investment to the creative sector. One that is particularly important in that it bridges economic growth. It brings economic growth and bridges that growth with social cohesion, innovation, and international influence. Beyond its economic potential, activities within the orange economy serve as an important unifying force in our uniquely diversified society. Fellow Guyanese, our industry, one resource, or one episode of prosperity cannot determine a nation's true strength for the long term. Our vision is based on a clear and evident premise that our economy is integrated, an economy where agriculture supports industry, where technology strengthens tradition, where creativity is valued, and where no talent is left behind because the system is too narrow to support it. Economies that diversify are stronger, more resilient, more balanced, and more inclusive. Diversification encourages innovation, spreads opportunity across regions, and ensures that growth is shared rather than concentrated. We'll be diversifying both vertically and horizontally, moving up the value chain, moving from primary production to manufacturing, and then ultimately toward an innovation and knowledge-driven economy, one in which biodiversity services, environmental services, and climate services will play an important pillar of diversification. will expand opportunities at every level, across every sector of our economy. Our government's vision is universal opportunity. Imagine a country where opportunity is not defined or molded by geography, background, or circumstances. A Guyana where a young artist in Berbice, a welder in Essequibo, a farmer in Linden, and a chef in Georgetown can all look to the future with confidence. Our vision for the next 5 years is about building resilient prosperity, where every citizen has the opportunity to thrive, where economic opportunities are abundant and sustainable, and where environmental stewardship, including the LCDS 2030, is a key pillar supporting national development. It emphasizes value creation within our national borders, ensuring that every resource generates sustained economic benefits through local processing, manufacturing, and technological innovation. Guyana's national development is inseparable from the growth and aspiration of its people. This is the vision before us. A Guyana where progress is deliberate, opportunity is widespread, and informed decisions and a shared national purpose guide development. In our effort to ensure and promote economic diversification, key initiatives include sustained growth. Since 2021, we have grown the non-oil economy by an annual average of over 10%, driven mainly by construction, services, agriculture, and manufacturing. Agricultural support. Rice production has reached its highest level in the history of the industry. While we have also seen massive expansion in new crops, with corn production expanding by almost 300%, and soybean production by almost 1,800% between 2020 and 2024. We have supported agro-processing as a key area of value addition and economic diversification. For example, we recently launched a US $20 million sugar refinery with the private sector to serve the CARICOM market, strategically diversifying the sugar industry. We have witnessed a significant increase in visitor arrival. We have also launched an expression of interest for new tourism facilities in different regions of Guyana. And I must say, the response to that EOI has been breathtaking, just like the beauty of our country. More investors, both local and foreign, are investing in Guyana than any other time in our country's history. As I previously mentioned, credit to the private sector has increased at a rapid pace, reflecting the confidence in our economy. We implemented a local content legislation to ensure that Guyanese businesses and workers are meaningfully integrated into national development and benefit directly from the opportunities in the sector. As we go forward into this, our second term in office, this transformation will not only continue, but will be accelerated. We are laying the groundwork for a future that is diversified, technologically advanced, and ecologically responsive. But most importantly, we are building that future so that most of the benefits and opportunity will come to Guyanese, every Guyanese, Guyanese businesses, Guyanese companies, and Guyanese living in the diaspora. That is a foundational principle of the opportunities we are pursuing. As we go forward into this term, we are laying the foundation, the groundwork for a future that is diversified, technologically advanced, and ecologically responsible. We'll transition Guyana into a value-added leader, moving away from the export of primary products toward manufacturing, industrial processing, technology goods and services. Over the next 5 years, we'll witness Guyana's environment for doing business becoming one of the most attractive to the private sector, both domestic and foreign. As already indicated, we are well on our way to ensuring adequate, reliable, and affordable energy. With the full deployment of the investments in energy to which I've already referred, and which will reduce electricity costs by 50%, the basis will be laid for a globally competitive, energy-intensive industrial and manufacturing activity. Major industrial parks at Wales and in Berbice will host facilities for the production of various commodities supported by energy, cooking gas, petrochemical products, and support to the industrial automation, data centers, and digital hubs. More affordable energy will also lay the foundation for a globally competitive agro-processing sector, which will, in turn, create wider market opportunity and greater income-generating potential for our farmers based on value-added production. Now, we want to be a leader in agriculture and food production. We want to encourage investment in agro-processing, value creation, large-scale farming, mega farms, livestock, dairy, hatching eggs. We want these opportunities to be created at an unprecedented scale to satisfy national and regional demand. And to encourage this, we are going to give the same fiscal space that we give to health and education to agriculture and agro-processing. That is the removal of corporate tax on agriculture and agro-processing across the entire value chain, positioning our ecosystem to now be the most competitive for investment in agro-processing, agriculture, and food production. The new transport infrastructure to which I referred earlier will also transform both the supply chain landscape and the market opportunity for Guyanese industry. With improved overland connectivity to mainland neighbors and enhanced marine and air connectivity with the Caribbean, Guyanese producers, manufacturers, and service providers will have easy access to neighboring markets. And we are consulting with the private sector to work on a transport and logistics mechanism that would allow our goods and services to move easier, faster, and at more competitive rates throughout the region. Across all sectors, the traditional challenge faced by the Guyanese economy has been a focus on primary production and the absence of a globally competitive value-added sector. In the next 5 years, we'll transition Guyana into a value-added leader, moving beyond the export of raw gold, bauxite, and timber toward industrial and manufacturing type of activities. We have already advanced agricultural diversification through the cultivation of corn and soybean and other high-value crops. We'll create new products and introduce technology-driven production processes that allow us to boost our competitiveness and reduce our dependency on imports. Going forward, Guyana will be positioned as a major food-producing hub in the region. We'll establish an agri-tech and agro-industrial complex, co-investing with agro-processors to move into value-added food production. We'll be the largest agro-processing economy in the region. Just as industrial and manufacturing have been historically constrained by the availability and cost of energy, so has our tourism potential been constrained by limited connectivity and lack of domestic capacity. Today, with more airlines traveling to Guyana than ever before, and more internationally branded and world-class hotel rooms than ever before, we are poised to emerge as one of the Caribbean's premier tourism destinations. Over the next 5 years, we'll diversify into medical tourism, sports tourism, and cultural tourism. For a matter of fact, many international medical facilities, education and training facilities are already talking to us about moving their services and facility to Guyana. As we actively roll out an events-based tourism strategy to attract more visitors to our shores, we also anticipate major investments in high-value ecotourism facilities and value-added tourism activities. Fellow Guyanese, on the question of jobs and job creation, our government's philosophy is simple and straightforward. Economic growth without job creation is hollow, and job creation without human development is unsustainable. This philosophy is a guiding framework underlining our economic policies. For this reason, we are undertaking the transition from the survival economy of the past to the prosperity economy of the future. Under the previous administration, that is the APNU-AFC government, 35,000 Guyanese were pushed out of work, not by choice, but by decisions and policies pursued by the then APNU-AFC government. Today, industries, businesses are complaining to us that they cannot find people to work as a result of the policies and agenda of the People's Progressive Party civic government. At the end of the day, governments matters, parliamentarian matters. Who you put in those seats matters. And the People's Progressive Party civic government has consistently shown Guyana, whenever we are given the chance, we make it matter by building for the people of our country. No sector was spared by that government, from the CSOs and forestry workers in the hinterland, the bauxite workers in Region 10, the sugar workers, tens of thousands. Our youths, none of them were spared. Today, that reality has changed dramatically. We have replaced the crippling policies of contraction and destruction with a transformative agenda of investment and expansion, underpinning strategic long-term development, ensuring a stable and continuously improved outlook for our workforce and the broader economy. The record of the PPC administration speaks for itself. Over the past 5 years, we created more than 60,000 new jobs. The enduring creation of jobs across vital industries like construction, manufacturing, accommodation and food service activities, wholesale and retail trade, transportation and storage, administrative and support services, education, agriculture, forestry and fishing, mining and quarrying, public administration and defense. The national conversation in Guyana has fundamentally shifted. Our citizens are no longer complaining about an inability to find jobs. Instead, the primary challenge cited by employers today is that they cannot find enough workers. This is a good problem to have, but it requires immediate and strategic action. This is what real economic transformation looks like. It is the momentum that allows the government to deliver on its promise to create jobs, not in theory, but in lived experiences. In this era of rapid economic development, our government is not just creating jobs and filling vacancies. We are creating a future-proof workforce. The next phase of our development requires a revolutionary approach to human capital development. We must pivot rapidly towards building a knowledge-based, pragmatic economy, an economy where we strategically look as to where our supply of labor will come from. What are the rules that will govern that supply of labor? And what is the system, the economic, social system we'll put in place to support what will be needed. Over the next 5 years, we'll revolutionize technical training. We'll expand and modernize technical education to ensure every young Guyanese has a technical skill certified to international standards. Our children will no longer be limited by geography of opportunity. Through digital transformation, we're bringing jobs to the people, not forcing people to leave their homes for jobs, because part of the strategy is to build new centers of growth and economic opportunity. It is to build new urban areas. It is to build new areas of investment and job creation. It is to build new areas of economic activity. That is part of the strategy. Not to move people to other urban centers, but to create new urban centers, to create new spaces of development, to enhance those spaces, and to accelerate the growth within those spaces. We are building a robust ICT network that supports thousands of micro enterprises and remote work opportunities, transforming rural areas into economic powerhouse. With a rapid economic transformation planned over the next 5 years, the number and variety of jobs available will make joblessness a thing of the past, because opportunity will be expanding in every direction. Our vision is for a workforce that is skilled, well-paid, and globally competitive. And ours is a commitment to ensuring that the benefits of our historic growth are distributed across every region, every community, and every household. We are building a Guyana where every citizen, regardless of their region or background, has a seat at the table of economic empowerment and prosperity. We'll work to create more quality jobs and ensure that all Guyanese of working age have the skills needed to take up these jobs. As we work to build a future of shared prosperity and opportunity, my government has shaped our projects and programs in a way that ensures that every group in society has a stake in Guyana's progress. In recent months and weeks, I've spoken our commitment to uplifting our Amerindian brothers and sisters, children, youth, and women, creating jobs and programs for persons living with disabilities, and about ensuring that our elderly continue to be protected and live with dignity and pride. Our Amerindian communities are places of bountiful opportunity, with vast economic potential and talented human resources. Over the next 5 years, we'll ensure that this potential is unlocked and unleashed to the benefit of our Amerindian brothers and sisters. We'll accelerate the land titling program. We'll also maintain our commitment to providing at least 15% of the proceeds from our carbon credit sales to support the implementation of their village sustainability plans with the aim of ensuring a viable and competitive village economy. In addition, we'll expand the CSO program, ensure universal access to secondary education in the hinterland, ensure easier access to quality healthcare services, support community-based enterprises and job creation, support village-led tourism product to raise the quality of visitor experience, introduce more ICT hubs, and advance ICT training in remote communities, and roll out a specialized youth training program. Further, as part of our infrastructure agenda, we'll invest in improved transportation and connectivity. Importantly, we want our hinterland families to enjoy the beauty of improved homes, living conditions, and home ownership. That is why we will have a program over the next 5 years that will directly support hinterland and riverine families in improving their homes and expanding their homes so they can live in comfort and dignity also. Children are our greatest national asset, and are literally the future of our country. We'll continue to create an environment for the care, protection, and holistic development of our children. Across all of the sectors that we invest in, a key consideration is to build a happy and prosperous society that ensures children are cared for, nurtured, and afforded a solid foundation for which they can achieve their full potential as they grow and become the leaders of tomorrow. Many of our investment in education and health will continue to be driven by our commitment to ensuring that our Guyanese children go on to lead long, healthy, productive lives. These include initiatives such as the state-of-the-art maternal and pediatric hospital, the Guyana Digital School, the Early Childhood Development Center countrywide, and other initiatives that would see accessible, unified access to facilities in recreation, training, and education for our children. Our government is implementing a comprehensive youth development strategy with the overall aim of equipping Guyanese youth with the skills they need to excel in the world today. Over the next 5 years, Guyana's youth will enjoy great opportunity to participate in every aspect of national life. My government will ensure full access to training opportunity across all regions, expand investment in sports and recreational facilities countrywide, increase employment opportunity, provide more support for youth innovation and entrepreneurship, and enhance youth access to affordable housing. A special emphasis will be placed on youth access to affordable housing. More specifically, in the area of investment in sports, our government will complete the new international stadium at Palmyra, the synthetic track, multi-purpose sports centers, and other modern sports facilities, including a high-performance conditioning facility. To ensure all Guyanese youth, particularly our talented athletes, have adequate opportunity to realize their full potential. I am pleased to let you know that every national team representing Guyana at sporting events will now benefit from 1 month of conditioning training and preparation that will be supported by the government before those activities. To ensure that our athletes are in good condition and are in the right environment to excel at whatever they do. Women have long been at the forefront of Guyana's development, shaping its economy, society, and governance through activism, entrepreneurship, and leadership. Recognizing their invaluable contribution, we are committed to fostering greater economic independence for women, ensuring they continue to play a central role in shaping Guyana's future. Many women who were 5 years ago regarded as housewives with limited independence, no earning power, low confidence level, today are on the pathway program of the government of Guyana, achieving a level of independence and confidence that allow real deployment of opportunities for women and empowering them in the best possible way. Our strategic focus will empower women through entrepreneurship, skills development, and financial inclusion, enabling them to become economic drivers within their communities over the next 5 years. Government will continue the Women Innovation Investment Network, expand day and night care facility and early childhood development centers in all regions to ensure parents don't have to choose between taking up employment and their children's well-being. Expand the homestead project, under which additional single mothers will be empowered by being provided with the opportunity to own their own homes and finance them from income generated from climate-smart agriculture activities, especially shade house farming. Expand legal and social support mechanisms to combat sexual and domestic violence. It would be recalled that we introduced the Family Violence Act in 2024. Now, one of the key challenges raised with us in the last year in different regions is accessibility to legal services and the cost of that access to legal services. We will be taking deliberate steps to ensure that the cost to legal services does not deny accessibility to justice. We will have to strengthen the legal aid program and improve the mechanism through which we incentivize the system to support those who are in need of legal services. As the nation evolves, it is essential to ensure that our senior citizens can retire with dignity and continue to be active participants in society. Over the next 5 years, we will place strong emphasis on elderly living that goes beyond satisfying the physical needs of our senior citizens, to recognizing their worth while creating an environment where they can lead safe, fulfilling, valued, and engaged lives. Initiatives to improve the welfare of the elderly over the next 5 years will include expanding home-based care for senior citizens to increase their access to health care, completing and operationalizing new facilities for residential care for the elderly, expanding the shut-in and direct delivery of services to remote and hinterland communities, along with options for digital services, launching of volunteer and mentorship programs which encourage senior citizens to share their knowledge and skills with the younger generation. Since 2020, our government has been committed to the task of creating an inclusive and supportive environment for our brothers and sisters living with disabilities. We have provided financial support, including targeted cash grants. And only 2 weeks ago, I announced a one-off cash grant of $50,000 to every eligible person living with disability, totaling approximately $1.4 billion. Over the next 5 years, our government will implement a comprehensive agenda to further enhance the lives of persons with disabilities, living with disabilities. Our mission is to create an environment where the disabled can fully participate in all aspects of national life, pursue their dreams, and contribute meaningfully to our nation's growth. We'll strengthen systems of early identification, intervention, and treatment of persons living with disabilities. Develop and implement an updated special needs policy to ensure children with disabilities can acquire a meaningful education, increase their integration into mainstream schools, and establish SEN facilities in every region. We'll also increase the availability of durable mobility and other assistive aids, including electronic devices, to ensure greater independence of persons living with disability. Further, we will introduce a special financing window for persons with disabilities through the Development Bank to be established early next year, under which interest-free and collateral-free loans will be offered to persons with disabilities. We'll ensure that every single project has at least 10% of space dedicated specifically to support persons living with disability. We'll also create at least 5,000 jobs for persons living with disabilities across the country, and that process has already started. These all form part of our broader commitment to ensure that all groups in society benefit directly from Guyana's unprecedented economic growth. Brothers and sisters, fellow Guyanese, all of this can be lost if we don't change our mindset and build a more caring and value-based society. Not a society of want, but a society of needs. Not a society of convenience, but a society of structured, deliberate strategies to uphold, uplift, and promote each other. Fellow Guyanese, my government's vision for success does not rest solely on economic progress or wealth accumulation. It also hinges on something far more profound. That is a fundamental shift in our national mindset and the values we embrace as a society. This transformation starts at the individual level and is essential for building a future that is prosperous, inclusive, and sustainable. Our vision of success necessitates unity, discipline, and the proactive engagement of every Guyanese. It is a vision that requires every citizen to be respectful of the environment, compassionate to their fellow Guyanese, protective of the most vulnerable citizens, and mindful of all forms of life, human, animal, and ecological. Our nation stands at a consequential crossroad, one where we must assess progress not only in terms of what is built, but also by the quality of our regard for one another. This compels us to change our national mindset by nurturing a culture that esteems empathy over indifference and care over convenience. A truly strong society is one that cultivates compassion as a virtue, encourages greater civic-mindedness in daily life, and recognizes the indispensable role of religious and social organizations in shaping hearts as well as habits. These institutions are the moral ligaments of the nation, binding us together, reminding us that prosperity without humanity is hollow. And here, the religious community, our religious leaders, will have to take leadership. And as a government, we will work with you in supporting programs, policies, and projects that would achieve this agenda. Yet, as we seek to deepen this ethic of care, I've been besieged by voices from across Guyana. Parents, teachers, elders, and community leaders, raising grave concerns about the corrosive effects of social media. Only recently, you have seen countries taking drastic steps for children and young people below the age of 16. This challenge is not peculiar to our shores, but its impact is keenly felt in our homes and classrooms, particularly among our impressionable children. I have been urged repeatedly and passionately that we must act to arrest the abuse and harmful effects of social media. In the spirit of consultation that will characterize how my administration shapes policy over the next 5 years, I therefore ask the Ministers of Education, Information, Labor, and Public Service, Efficiency and Implementation to embark on national consultation so that our response is thoughtful, inclusive, and anchored in the recommendation of our people. I've been equally bombarded with concerns from families religious leaders, and community advocates about the ill effects of gambling, which has seeped into too many households, eroding savings, imposing financial hardships, straining relationships, and fueling harmful social consequences. This, too, demands a collective reckoning. We'll consult widely with all stakeholders and those who regulate. And arising out of these deliberations, we will incorporate concrete measures in the 2026 budget to confront and curtail this scourge. At the same time, new and troubling challenges are rising. Wearing unfamiliar faces, but carrying familiar dangers. We are witnessing the spread of new forms of substance abuse, including dangerous varieties of vaping and the use of potent narcotics such as fentanyl and other drugs known to impair cognitive abilities. These are not distant threats. They are present and pressing, not in our shores alone, but all across the world. It is an international pandemic. I wish to address these emerging forms of substance abuse directly through informed policy, public education, and coordinated action that place prevention and protection at the center of what we do. We will be working with our international partners against all forms of drug smuggling. We have a global responsibility to save this generation and generations to come. We must also extend the circle of compassion to the creatures with whom we share this planet. Animals, like humans, deserve care, protection, and respect. And it is our collective responsibility to reduce the incidence of their ill treatment. As part of our commitment to a more humane society, the government will provide greater resources to support animal welfare organizations. Over the next 5 years, we'll implement incentives, including reductions and removal of taxes on veterinary hospitals, clinics, and animal shelters to encourage both professional care and community engagement in the protection of animals. Similarly to agriculture, health, and education, businesses, corporations providing these services would also be excluded from corporate tax. We would have a free nationwide campaign to ensure with the organizations dealing with animal and animal shelters to identify all the risks, the threats, and the areas in which we need urgent and immediate action. And even as I was preparing for this address today, I received many suggestions from animal welfare organizations and activists. And I want them to know that we value those suggestions. And all of those suggestions are in keeping with our policy on care and protection for our animals. Equally, we must cherish and care for the very environment that sustains us. The beauty and cleanliness of our surroundings are reflections of our civic pride and personal values. Reducing littering, maintaining pristine public spaces, and preserving the natural landscapes of our towns villages, and cities are responsibilities that fall to each of us. It is a delight to listen to members of our diplomatic community complimenting the light up at Main Street and other places across Guyana. Listening to them about the new parks and spaces, and listening to them comparing this to international standards. But maintaining this requires a shift in our mindset, a shift in the way we think, act, and behave. And this is a responsibility for all of us. Reducing littering and maintaining our towns, villages, and cities are responsibilities that fall to each of us. Government initiatives will support waste management programs, provide resources for national community cleanup drives, and encourage environmentally friendly practices. But lasting change depends on the participation of every citizen. And to the many who text me today and ask about our botanical gardens and zoo, I want you to know that there is an aggressive plan being finalized that will be implemented, that will make all of us proud of what our zoo and botanical garden will represent for Guyana and the rest of this region. I assure you that the national consultations that will be triggered in pursuit of these initiatives will not be cosmetic gestures. They form part of a broader, deeper plan to engage more deliberately with religious organizations and civil society, to work collectively in promoting a more humane and caring society. Together, we will listen, learn, and act, building policies that are rooted in compassion, sustained by partnership, and guided by a shared moral purpose. In doing so, we will affirm a simple but profound truth, that the measure of our nation is found not only in what we achieve, but in how faithfully we care for one another. Through these initiatives and the promotion of the One Guyana philosophy, we will create a conducive environment for a more caring society, a society that displays empathy, and a society that is just and value-based. We have what it takes to overcome the things that seem to push us apart. Our foreparents overcame hurdles far more difficult and painful than the challenges we have before us. Each of you, each of us, has a part to play in our cultural, social, and civic reconstruction. Fellow Guyanese, as I commence my second term as your elected president, I invite you to join with me and your fellow citizens in a path that our children and grandchildren will be proud of, and that will build not only a more prosperous world, but even more importantly, a more humane and caring world for them to live in. Fellow Guyanese, I have just elaborated my government's vision, policies, and plans for accelerating the transformation of our country over the next 5 years. At the center of all of these is a constant imperative of ensuring that the interests of the Guyanese economy and the well-being of the Guyanese people are protected and served at all times. With this in mind, and consistent with the People's Progressive Party Civic Manifesto 2025, on the basis of which the Guyanese people elected us with an expanded mandate, I would now wish to reaffirm the following objectives that we have committed to for the current term of office. Our aim is to build an even more resilient economy through further diversification of non-oil economic activity. Additionally, recognizing that the oil and gas activity has thus far been concentrated around certain specific population centers, especially at the mouth of the Demra River. We would like to encourage investment in other areas so that Guyanese nationals can access good quality jobs and meaningful opportunities to earn irrespective of where they live. We will therefore establish in a number of areas to be detailed in the 2026 budget special development zones where a tax-free incentive regime will apply. These will especially target the objectives of creating jobs where these are most needed, as well as promoting those categories of economic activities that generate export earnings or that fulfill demand that is currently met by imports. In specific relation to the agricultural sector, and given my government's strong emphasis on food security, we will be engaging with farmers to examine additional ways in which we can encourage and incentivize diversification. Diversification across the sector and diversification within crops. Also important is the mega-scale opportunity, whether in livestock, dairy, mega farms, sugar, and incentivizing our private sector to form partnership and consortiums to invest in those opportunities, making them sustainable, profitable, and resilient. For this purpose, Budget 2026 will allocate resources to advance diversification in agriculture and agro-processing, including through co-investment opportunities. Recognizing also the widespread use of double cab pickups in productive activity, as well as their durability and versatility in both business and household use, we will introduce a flat tax of $2 million on double cab pickups up to less than 2,000 cc, irrespective of age, while we will introduce a flat tax of $3 million on double cab pickups between 2,000 cc and 2,500 cc, irrespective of age. This will make it easier for businesses and households to renew or upgrade their transport capabilities. We recognize the importance of incentivizing and rewarding work and effort, as well as acknowledging compliance and contribution to national well-being and prosperity. In this regard, we wish to ensure that those who work and contribute to the national coffers through participation in the formal economy are able to retain more of their earnings for the purpose of enjoying disposable income and accumulating higher levels of personal savings. Accordingly, over the next 5 years, we'll continue to increase the income tax threshold with the ultimate aim of approximating the levels that obtain in more developed countries than ours by the end of this current term. Additionally, in pursuit of the objective of incentivizing the accumulation of savings and assets by individuals, we will abolish net property tax on individuals. Additionally, in the interest of improving the circumstances of those persons in employment on Community Infrastructure Improvement Project, SIP, the National Pathway Worker Program, which is known as the 10-Day Workers Program, the Community Service Officers, the CSOs in Amerindian communities, and the Neighborhood Police, we are proposing to raise the wages of these categories of workers in the 2026 budget to a minimum of $50,000 per month. Cash transfers are an important means through which specific policy objectives can be realized. Building on a strong track record, we have established an increasing disposable incomes. Through such transfers, my government will continue to provide these through a number of different instruments. First, in keeping with our commitment in Manifesto 2025, we will progressively increase the Because We Care cash grant to $100,000 per annum during this term of office. Also, during this term of office, we will progressively increase the non-contributory old age pension to $60,000 per month and the public assistance grant to $40,000 per month. Budget 2026 will deliver the first installment in these increases. Additionally, we will continue to increase pensions payable by the National Insurance Scheme. Finally, we committed in our Manifesto 2025 to provide additional cash grants to individuals. In this regard, Budget 2026, which will be presented early in the new year, will make provision for a cash grant of $100,000 to be paid to every citizen in Guyana who is 18 years of age and older. And other cash grants will be paid during the course of the next 5 years. I've already reiterated my government's commitment to ensure that every Guyanese family is able to have access to adequate housing. In particular, we'll ensure that the backlog of applications for house lots are cleared in the shortest possible time. We are already well on track to achieving this in all regions except Region 4, where the demand is peculiar. We are also well on track to delivering our commitment of building 40,000 homes. Additionally, Budget 2026 and subsequent budgets in this term will allocate sums of money to finance direct assistance to households to help them build and/or upgrade their homes. This facility will be used to deploy a differentiated approach with the nature of the assistance being customized to meet the circumstances of different regions and communities. Our government is committed in our Manifesto 2025 to expand day and night care facilities, as well as early childhood development centers countrywide. At the same time, we recognize that the provision of these services provides an important entrepreneurial opportunity for small businesses, especially considering the number of persons we have already trained in child care and elderly care. Accordingly, we will remove corporate taxes on income earned by companies engaged in child care provision services, as we have already done with health and education services. We will also allocate funds in Budget 2026 for co-investment in child care facilities on the condition that those facilities that benefit from the tax and co-investment concessions will agree to charge a suitably capped rate for the services provided. In relation to special needs education, we'll establish SEND facility in every region. Within the regions, likely at the level of individual NDCs or township or clusters of NDCs, we'll identify a location to establish satellite SEND schools and will involve the parents of the children concerned in the management and oversight of these satellite schools. That way, parents will be able to enjoy the assurance that their children are getting appropriate, good quality educational opportunities, while also making it possible for the parents to seek employment opportunities for themselves. In relation to elderly care, we'll remove corporate taxes on income earned by companies engaged in elderly care provision services. Similarly, we'll allocate funds in Budget 2026 for co-investment in elderly care facilities, also on the condition that those facilities benefiting from tax and co-investment concessions will agree on charging a suitable cap rate for the services provided. In pursuit of our objective for a more humane society, we recognize the importance of ensuring that adequate provisions are made to protect and safeguard animal welfare. In this regard, we will make provisions in Budget 2026 for financial support to be provided to NGOs involved in animal care and welfare and institutions providing such care. Today, we stand on the cusp of a new dawn, a moment of unprecedented opportunity. After centuries of struggle, resilience, and sacrifice by those who came before us, this moment is now ours to seize, to shape, and to transform. The plans I have laid before you provide a framework for doing just that, turning promise into progress, vision into reality. These plans represent a blueprint for transformation that will be tangible in your daily lives. In the work you do, the wages you earn, the communities that cradle your families, and the horizons of opportunities opening for your children, with your trust and partnership, will turn this moment into a movement, a momentum that carries growth in our homes, pay packets, and the dreams of our people. Let it be said of this generation that when history looks back, it will mark this as a moment when Guyana chose action over hesitation, unity over division, and courage over fear. When Guyanese chose in 2025 bold, visionary, and trusted leadership. As we look ahead to the next 5 years, we do so with hearts lifted by hope. And as Christmas draws near, we are reminded that hope is perennial, that each year brings the promise of rebirth, renewal, and light. And it is with that same spirit that we embark together on the path to a brighter, fairer, and more prosperous Guyana, grounded in our people, their aspirations, their life, and the fulfillment of their dreams. I thank you. God bless all of you, and God bless our beautiful country, Guyana.
no coastal plains, plenty rice and sugar cane. Same Guyanese blood in our vein. So make me burn out the hatred, time for erasing. Can't make that destroy. 6 race I share the same space in this 83,000 square miles. We are one Guyana, a place of peace, a place of love. We are one Guyana, it's paradise, it's our world.
Brother is a brother, no matter which religion is you. Could a Buddhist, Christian, Muslim, Hindu. Sister is a sister, real and true. One big one to culture brew.
And all of we together could really make this dream come true of a brighter Guyana for me and you. Ocean to mountains, hear this tune. Take it cool.
We are one Guyana, a place of peace, a place of love. We are one Guyana, it's paradise, it's our world. Love runs deep like a beautiful rivers for Guyana. Oh, when we stand as one, mighty like Mount Guyana, for Guyana, for Guyana. Our life would be beautiful, just like Guyana. She's blessed us with her own, just got to embrace her. They say, one and alone can't love lots of lots. Put her hands together, give her a standing ovation. This great nation, a little gem of this world. Yeah. A place of peace, a place of love. We are one Guyana, it's paradise, it's our world.
We are one Guyana, a place of peace, a place of love. We are one Guyana, it's paradise, it's our
Yeah, yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Got a wrong call, your neighbor, tell your friend, and then this vision again. Thank you, Lord, for another anthem, yeah. Vision again. So let me give thanks and praise, Lord, as I rise out of my bed. Thank you, Lord, for another day, because I know a lot of family and friends didn't make it. So, Lord, after you showed me much faithfulness, what could be worse than ungrateful?